अब हम लाइव हैं।
अब अवतार हैं आप।
A very good evening to all. I, Sandeep Kumar, Sajjan and Arms and professional speakers, welcomes you to meeting number 144. The mission of a Toastmaster Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. I hope you and your family members and near and dear ones are very safe and taking preventive measures as the situation is going on very tough. And I hope that all will be, all of you will stay strong in this new situation and keep motivating each other. Now it's time to call a president on the virtual stage. He comes from a community that is lazy in speaking, that is chartered accountants. He believes that no one should be lazy in communication and derives his passion for Toastmaster from this belief. In 2009, he authored Guide to Financial Instrument published by Taxman Publications. He enjoys watching movies, traveling to new places, and playing chess. He indulges in many adventures, including but not limited to coming to the stage frequently. A passionate Toastmaster for more than 5 years, he is on his way to becoming a voracious leader, writer, and speaker. Without much ado, please welcome Mukesh Thakur on the stage, but with a birthday song. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mukesh. Happy birthday to
you.
Thank you very much. That was a surprise birthday party. Now, as we start, we are going to play with words today. And let's start with playing with the words. The only way that we can live is if we can grow. We can grow. Wait for a second. There is some technical glitch. There's some technical glitch. Anyway, the only way to live is when we grow. The only way to grow when we learn. The only way when we learn when we get exposed, and only way when we get exposed when we throw ourselves. I am currently attending dance classes, and in the last Friday, what happened that the instructor announced that this Friday we are going to have solo performances, and I was scared to death because this month I could not focus on any of the steps, and performing solo on 64 steps continuously, that too on the music, was out of my league. On one side of my mind said, let's avoid this embarrassment and bunk this class. On the other side, my other mind said that let's show yourself, expose yourself. What worst can happen? I joined the class. The class started, and in the first practice round, I forgot all of the steps just after second step, and I knew what is going to happen when my live performance is going to happen. Other performances were kept going on, and I was practicing somehow, trying to match with them. Till the time my performance was there, I was not confident. Still, I was there. Let's see what will happen. When it was my performance, I put my entire energy and focus of my mind and kept performing. After my performance was over, the instructor kept praising me for the entire 2 minutes. What appeared to be an embarrassment for me was, in the words of instructor, was an inspiration. It is the traits that we all, our professional speakers, members of professional speakers, possess. We throw ourselves into the uncertainties of public speaking. We are here to do all the sacrifices. We are here to jump and want to see, and we are ready to face every situation that it may come. And the result is showing in front of in our eyes. We are here. Each of our members are successful. They are doing. Every member is doing better than others. With this spirit, let's jump into 144th meeting of professional speakers where eloquence meets impact. We provide a positive and supportive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Becoming a member of professional speaker is a privilege, and along with this privilege, there comes a responsibility. There comes a challenge. And here, the members of professional speakers throw themselves in challenging themselves for short-term, medium-term, and long-term goal, and we chase it in our meeting and off our meeting. Let's welcome our members as they recite their short-term goals and their progress in this week. Please keep applauding for them as their slides turn in. Thank you very much.
Good evening, professional speakers. This is Aditya. Glad to announce my short-term goal is to give my best at the district finals ISC, and I plan to achieve this goal by the rigorous training. Happy to announce I am going through a lot of internal and external work with my speech and trying out a lot of new ideas, and very excited for the next weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, members and guests. My name is Anisha, and I have two short-term goals. One is drafting one speech per week, and the other one is reducing the occurrence of filter sounds and unnecessary pauses. I'm yet to start off and work gradually on the first goal, but instead I am working on improving my listening skills, which I intend to take up as another set of goal. I would continue working more diligently on the first goal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Hani Khanduja. I have updated my short-term goals finally, and I intend to start a Gables Club by 30th June 2021, which will help me complete my HPL project. I want to update my profile on the LinkedIn and post one new article by 30th of May 2021 for a social media engagement. The third is where I seek more of a support than a goal is to take guidance on the pathways. I have taken three speech projects in the past, but I'm not very good with the pathways using it online. I know it sounds kind of silly, but I extend like a request to help me with the guidance on the pathway curriculum, and that's what I intend to work upon. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Hani.
Yeah, hi everyone. My short-term goal is to increase my vocabulary, learning 2 new words at least on a week, and also writing a professional blog by June 2021, and improving my listening skills. And also I am aiming to use 0 crutch words in 2 minutes speech.
Thank you, Jolie. Hello everyone, I am Mukesh Thakur, and my short-term goal is to deliver 100 speeches in 100 days. The stage of completion stays at 90%, 6% increase from the previous week. I have written 100 speeches out of 100, and I have delivered 80 out of 100 speeches. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are three. One is to make videos of 5 to 10 minutes. Last week, I could make only 2 videos. And the second is to write 2 stories of 35 words each. Last week, I could not write much. I could write, I think, 1,500 or 2,000 words. And third is to speaking, making improvements in my speaking by reading books. And I generally read 1 to 2 pages every day. And this I was able to do it last week also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. Someone said that if you're going to have goals, have some audacious ones so that even if you fail, you at least fail and become better, rather than having a goal that is easily achievable and to have a false sense of achievement after that. So my goals, my short-term goals are: number one, to qualify for the international speech contest semifinals. And second one is to win the evaluation speech contest. Now I may fail miserably at both, but at least I will fail knowing that I gave my best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone. I have 2 smart goals for this quarter. One is to have the better command dictionary language, and second is to improve vocal variety. I could not be able to focus on both aspects from last 2 weeks due to COVID, and I think I will be able to back on track by beginning of next month. Over to you, presiding officer.
Can we have a huge round of applause for all of our members who are putting their efforts to achieve their short-term, medium-term, and the long-term goals? And we are also privileged to have a distinguished guest with us. Can we applaud for their presence in our meeting? Let's start with our Power Talk speaker and also our ex-member Shipriya Gauri, TTM. Let's welcome Toastmaster Samriddhi Garg. Let's welcome distinguished Toastmaster Rajan Bhatia, our veteran Toastmasters. Let's welcome Divya. Let's welcome Haritika Ahuja.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Rajan sir, for joining with us.
Looking forward.
Thank you. Now we are talking about playing with the words. We are being professional speaker. We must learn these skills, and we must possess this traits of playing with words. But how to do it? Our Toastmaster of the day is going to let have fun with playing with the words. Our Toastmaster of the day is an experimental learning facilitator and a product lead with Blue Sky Learning. A Toastmaster who is trying to become a storyteller too is always in quest of some exciting experiences. Beyond her work as a Toastmaster, she is an traveler, keen observer, and a fitness enthusiast. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual stage Hani Khanduja. Let's play with the words. Let's words. Hani Khanduja.
Thank you so much, DTM Mukesh. While I wish you a very happy birthday and I see beautiful smiles coming in the room, I might ask everyone to simply unmute. I know I'm going off the professional speakers mold, but I think I'm allowed to do it today. So can you all please unmute and if you can switch on your video for like 1 minute, it would be great, because Mukesh would be more than happy to see our smiles, because that's what we can gift him right now in this virtual world. So can I request everyone, Shipriya, Samriddhi, Jolly, to switch on your video, unmute yourself, and give a huge shout out to Mukesh as we sing a birthday song for him.
Absolutely.
Shipriya, Samriddhi, Jolly, I think we can do it. Thank you so much, Samriddhi. So Rupinder, I've heard him very good at singing. So he would be the first one to start the birthday song. Rupinder, don't say anything, just start with the song, okay? And
Hare
Shipriya?
Hare, okay. Happy birthday to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
Birthday,
Happy
dear
birthday,
Birthday,
dear
dear
Mukesh.
Mukesh.
birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Mukesh.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am really surprised and overwhelmed. Thank you very much.
Okay, so on that jolly note of birthday and joyous feeling, I would like to kickstart this professional speakers meeting today on this Sunday. And one thing that I would ask you to quickly put in the chat right now in the next 30 seconds is how many kind of words, beautification of the speech that we all speak about, and probably if you are of the kind of Toastmasters who joined like me long years back and have done competent communication manual wherein there was a project of beautifying your speech with certain kinds of words, put it in the chat how many kinds of figurative language or how many kinds of words that you remember. We have studied it in school. These are something called similes and metaphors. Those are numerous. There are told to be 10 basic kinds of figurative language, but then there are more also. How many you remember? Let's put it in the chat and see how far we can go. Okay. Rupinder knows only similes and metaphors. Come on, guys. Hartika, Mukesh, Jolly, Samriddhi, Anisha, I'm waiting for your responses. Idioms is something Raj Mehta remembers. Guys, make a note of it. You might be called upon to answer some of these questions based on this. So be prepared. Quotes and idioms, amazing. Quotes is something, not a figurative language, but okay, I hear you. Idioms is oxymoron, simile, metaphor, idiom. Amazing, Samriddhi. So you are the champ in the room so far who knows maximum of these kind of figurative language. Then we have simile and personification. And Divya is saying idiom. Rajan, what would you like to add here? I'm very sure you would remember a couple of them. Rupinder has added something that's alliteration, Rupinder. I hope that's alliteration. And Raj Mehta has also said proverbs. Okay, okay. Though proverbs might not be listed as a figurative language, but okay, I take it right now. Okay, there is more coming in. Rajan has said quotes. Okay, quotes and quotation. Okay, so Rajan, do you think quotes and quotation are a kind of figurative language or it's a kind of structured statements that we use? What would you like to add here?
Thank you, Honey. So I feel quotations are a good way. Always we have heard every speaker use quotations to mostly start the speech, which can actually immediately grab the attention of the audience or close the speech to make a point through the speech. So I think it can be taken as figurative language, if I'm not wrong.
Okay, okay, okay.
I mean, I'm not sure.
Okay, okay. I'm quite sure about it. But before I jump on to sharing with you what are we sure and what are we unsure about, Raj Mehta has added contronym. Okay, Raj Mehta, this is something really complicated. I also Google it. Okay, so while Anisha share a red card, I have a quick link to share with all of you. I request all of you to quickly get to that link and I'll get you a code. We'll do a quick short quiz of where do we stand in knowing what all you have just said. Okay, so if I request you all to just go to that link, the one that I have pasted in the chat, it will take you to quizzes.com.
Enter a join code.
Yes, perfect. So that actually confirms me that yes, people are following me in and they are in the Zoom session. So there is a code right now in the chat. Follow that code as well. Put that code in the quiz. Get onto the quiz. It's a very short quiz because I knew I am already 2 minutes over and I just have got 1 minute. Many questions are 10 seconds and 20 seconds. So you have to be really fast. Okay. Okay, I see a couple of people joining in, but not all of them. But I'm going to start the quiz in interest of time. Okay, I hope all of you are on the quiz, scrolling through the questions, answering them. Just give me a buzz or put it in the chat if you are not able to log in or if there is any issue that you are stuck at. I'll be able to help you out. But it's a very simple quiz. Just add the quiz, just add the code, you'll get there. And the questions are really simple. So you need not worry about it. And if you are done, I'm very sure that you can quickly wind it up in the next 1 minute or so. When you are done, just come back and shout out that you're done. Okay, it's a pin drop silence, so I'm assuming everybody's on the quiz. And even our timer has forgotten to show the red card. I'm so happy. Okay, Samriddhi is done. Amazing. Samriddhi, thank you so much for acknowledging it and helping me know. Okay, Anisha is also done. Can you give a thumbs up as the red card is up so that we know that people are done with the quizzes? It's not very tough. I know it's a very, you would be surprised. I have picked it from 4th grade. So, okay, Aditya, Mukesh, Raj, sir, I think everybody is done. Anybody who's yet to complete it can please highlight or give a show of hand and we'll be able to decide on our course ahead. Okay, Mukesh is also done. Okay, so while I understand, okay, Aditya, don't take it so seriously. I completely hear you. I'll help you out in the next steps in the meeting. Dr. Tridev Upadhyay, I completely hear you. I'm putting your request to our table topic master, who's going to take your volunteering. And guys, we are done. So can I request everyone to quickly come back? And if you have not completed the quiz still, just let it go and come back. In interest of time, we want you to come back here so that we can actually know a bit what are we going to play with words for today. Okay, so how was it, guys? Any shout out? Can you please unmute and say, was it very funny? Was it very silly? Was it tough for you? Was it hurting your self-esteem?
So the self-esteem was just a joke. I think it was a lot of fun, given the time constraint made it even more fun.
Okay, thank you, Aditya. Jolly, I couldn't hear you.
It was interesting.
It was interesting. Okay, thank you so much. Hartika, what's your take on that? Rajan said it's fun.
Definitely reminded me of my English teacher.
New experience, actually.
Okay, good experience.
Very innovative way of doing it, I think.
Thank you so much, Rajan. Okay, I had to rush to the next step, and I'll keep talking about it, and I'll try to compile a bigger quiz for a good fun experience and learning, and probably share it with you by the end of the day. It is going to be a good learning for all of us to know about it. But okay, jumping on to the professional speakers meeting today, I would like to highlight that as professional speakers, we have a different structure. In a different meeting structure, we you saw the one element of the structure before, in which we as a members share our short-term goals, share our progress. That's one exciting element of our professional speakers meeting as a business segment. Now, starting from here, we have 5 segments in our meeting, starting with a professional speech, which is going to be an 18 to 20-minute speech. And today we have our esteemed member, Rupinder Singh, who's delivering a beautiful professional speech today. After professional speech, every one of you need to gear up for a table topic section, because our table topic master Mukesh is going to take us through some exciting impromptu speeches. Third section would be a prepared speech section, which would be like a conventional Toastmasters meeting structure element, where we have 2 of our members delivering their project speeches from the Pathways curriculum. So we have 2 speakers today, Toastmaster Raj Mehta and Toastmaster Anisha Gupta. After that, we have one of a very critical and I would say a significant section of professional speakers. I'm personally looking forward to it, which is a power talk segment, because one of our champions, humorous speech champion from, I would still call her a professional speaker, though she's an ex-member, but she's a champion today and is going to help us know a bit more about humorous speaking, which is Shivpriya Gauri. And then the section which all of us wait to listen to, which is an evaluation section. So let me quickly jump on to introducing my evaluation team here. So today the evaluation team will be led by Toastmaster Aditya Gupta. Hi, Aditya. And then we have our counter, Jolly Sharma. We have our timer, who you have obviously identified by now, who's flashing the red, yellow, and green card, Anisha Gupta. Anisha, if you can switch on your video, and probably you can pin her when you are speaking on the podium. Okay, Anisha is facing some trouble with the connection. That's perfectly fine. She'll update the timing. Thanks, Anisha, for mentioning it. And then we have our grammarian, Sandeep Kumar. Sandeep, I have a special request. Can you please share with us the word of the day? He has already put in the chat. If you want to share a slide, yes, no, maybe.
Hi, Annie. I already mentioned in the chat box, though I will recite once again in the meeting.
Thank you.
So today, the word of the day is respite. It's a noun, and its meaning is a short period of rest from something that is difficult or unpleasant. The usage may be gardening, the perfect hobby for those who need respite from hectic city life. Or lockdown appears to be respite for those who are working more than 10 or 15 years. So these are some examples of respite. Over to you, Toastmasters already.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you so much. Definitely, I can assure this professional speakers meeting is going to be a respite from the chaotic and stressful environment that we are in right now. So moving on, after introducing the structure of the meeting, I would like to begin with the first section of our professional speakers meeting, which is the professional speech segment. May I request the host to put on spotlight our professional speaker, Rupinder Singh. Our professional speaker today is a person of extremes. I personally very well agree to it. Either he'll go out of his way to make you happy, help you out, or he'll put the laziest of the lazy organisms to put on shame by doing nothing. So either he will check all the boxes or he will check none at all. Most of the time, I observe that he will actually be on the positive extreme for all of us. Today, as he goes about his professional speech, I know him for quite a long time now. And whenever I used to, like pre-COVID times, when I used to hug him, I used to tell him, Rupinder, you need to smile. You need to smile. And that's what I'm going to request him today as well, because apparently he needs us, as evidenced by his speech title, which is We Need You. I think I speak empathetically for the audience when he comes on the stage. Rupinder Singh, we need you to smile. With that, may I request everyone to give him a huge round of applause. Rupinder Singh, we need you. We need you, Rupinder Singh.
Rupi, we need you. It was 2015. My first ever Toastmasters club was being chartered and it needed a president. Wait, president? Me? Who in their right mind would think of me as president? I think you should accept. I would think very hard and very long before saying yes or no. That was my business unit head. Translated, it meant you better accept or there would be consequences. But how could I accept? There were people senior to me in the club. In a corporate club, it becomes very awkward asking a senior to do something or to give feedback to them. That was not all. Even if some of the club members were my members, I did not know them. In the words of Bilbo Baggins, I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Translated, I don't know a lot of you people, and I dislike a lot of you people, although it should not be the same. Translated again, I don't want to be president. But the sad reality of corporate life is that there are only so many excuses you can give. After I exhausted all my excuses, it was time to confront reality. There was only one thing left to do, and that was to become president. And so it came to pass that I became the charter president of a charter club that was a corporate club. Thus began my initiation into this another universe of acronyms: TCP, DTM, TMOD, GE, TTM, TAG, CRC, IRSC. If you are new to Toastmasters and you do not understand these terms, well, join Toastmasters just so that you can. And no, I'm not going to expand these terms because I want my evaluators to have some recommendations in my evaluation. In many ways, the role of a president was an eye-opener. But the biggest learning I got was to overcome two misconceptions that I had about people. The first one was the first misconception that I had was that the first impression is not necessarily the last impression. And maybe a lasting impression is more important than the last impression. And two, when they said they needed me, it was in fact I who needed them more. Let me address the misconception about people first. Many times we look at people and we form some preconceived notions about them. Many times these notions turn out to be incorrect. For example, I come across as Khadus, and the English word to explain that would be sullen snobbish, which is a combination of sullen and snobbish. Pretty sure grammarian will have an interesting time today. But that is the best way you can explain the word Khadus. Gradually, people realize that I am an acquired taste and some of them get to like me. So when I met some people, there were people who were managers. And I used to think, how? More importantly, why? But thanks to Toastmasters, I got to know them better. New friendships were formed and fellowships were forged. And then there was the support. On paper, they needed me. Since I was told we need you. In reality, I needed them more. You see, nowhere does teamwork demonstrate better results than in informal and voluntary learning environment, such as Toastmasters. The club had goals to achieve, and the club necessarily has to work together as a team to realize these goals. even in tasks that do not necessarily involve goals, such as contests. You need the support of fellow Toastmasters to identify where you're going right and where you can improve. Thus, when they said that they needed me, it was more like I needed them. It was more like we needed each other for our mutual benefit. Speaking of mutual benefits, Amphorator became a President's Distinguished Toastmasters Club in its charter year. While many people credited me for the achievement, it was really the team that got that helped me achieve that goal. Of course, many would not see it that way, and they were clamorings again. Rupi, we need you this time as an area director. Seriously, me, area director. Who in their right mind would think of me as an area director? Turns out, this time it was Mukesh Kolothia who had seemingly lost his mind. Or had he? What got me to accept the position that I was very reluctant to accept was a very convincing argument. This is a tip if you are trying to go for an area director role. If you so much as drop a hint that you're becoming an area director just to be a distinguished Toastmaster, well, that is ground for immediate rejection. In my case, however, Mukesh wanted me to become an area director since that was the only thing standing between me and the distinguished Toastmaster title. It wasn't easy. I got four clubs. Two of them were brand new. One was struggling to survive. The fourth one was an unknown, at least to me. And that unknown club, TCS Maitri Gurgaon Toastmasters, became a key weapon in my armory. You see, as a first-time area director, I was pretty much at sea as to where to begin and where to start. It all changed with one visit to TCS Maitri Gurgaon Toastmasters Club, because I very quickly formed a team that would help me strengthen my weak club. You now know it as Turning Point Toastmasters Club. They would also introduce me to one Rajan Tandon, who would play a pivotal role as a coach in making Embark Toastmasters Select Distinguished that year. Apart from TCS Maitri, I got tremendous support from the Toastmasters fraternity, some of them who are still a part of professional speakers or were a part of professional speakers. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gauri, and Toastmaster Hani Khanduja. All of them were fellow district officers with me. One of the most challenging things that an area director has to do is to organize events such as contests and trainings. And these events, they require role players. Thanks to the awesome network that I had, I never once had to struggle for role players. So whether it was a Raj Mehta who was supporting me in a contest after running from pillar to post, trying to get Indirapuram Toastmasters off the ground, or a Shivpriya Gauri stepping in at the last minute to become a member of Turning Point Toastmasters to make that club Select Distinguished, and in the process, my area President's Distinguished, or a Geeta Nain who made it to my contest after injuring herself in a robbery that saw her phone being stolen, or a Mukesh Thakur who is well, Mukesh Thakur, or a Hani Khanduja who took it upon herself to resurrect a club that I was a coach of, a club that wanted to die, a club that she literally took by the scruff of the neck and said, I don't care where you are going. You're coming with me, and dragged it to make it a President Distinguished Club. Fact of the matter is, I got help when I asked for it. In the following years, each of these individuals present in the meeting today would go on to bigger things in D41. I chose to remain behind and contest. When I contested, it was my turn to say to them, I need you. And they responded. When I cleared the district level contest and I was headed to Chicago, 6 of them chose to travel with me to support me there. at their own expense. Two of them are present in this meeting, Hani and Mukesh. Believe me, I'm not an easy person to be with. Ask Mukesh and Deepak Sharma. They had to put up with me snoring in a 6x6 room. When I was not sleeping, I was torturing Hani, Pragya, Geeta, and Khushbu, the other members of my entourage. Every time I heard the three magical words, "We need you," I responded with, "I need you too." But here is the difference. I may not have responded to a "we need you" always, but I have yet to encounter an instance when I called for help and I was refused. That is something that is more of a culture in Toastmasters. Nowhere can you see a better example than the current pandemic that is raging across the world. Toastmasters across clubs, across areas, across divisions, across districts have come together and responded to "we need you." When they said "we need you," they were responded to as well. Be it an oxygen cylinder or a concentrator, an ICU bed, remdesivir, or even words of comfort. I see Toastmasters across the world coming to support selflessly. And since they are doing things selflessly, and since I do the things the opposite way, I choose to be selfish. As Vice President membership of Professional Speaker, I will selfishly say, guests, we need you in our meetings, telling us how we can make professional speakers a better experience for you. We need you to bring more guests to our meeting so that they can benefit. We need your patronage as we look to add value to your life and that of fellow Toastmasters. On another selfish note, this time to the members of Professional Speakers, we will soon have our club elections. We need you to step forward and take up roles. We need you to provide some fresh blood in the executive committee. We need you to take Professional Speakers in a direction that you choose. You will probably say, "I do not have the time or the inclination." Let me tell you, for the past 10 minutes or so, you have been listening to someone who never had the inclination to be a club president, who never and yet ended up with a president distinguished club. Someone who never had the inclination to be an area director and yet ended up with a president distinguished area. And I will be the last person to say that those were my achievements. Because when people said that "we need you," I responded with, "I need you." And I was not turned down. Be it the president of the club, be it the area director, be it a contestant in a contest. And I can give you the same assurance to each one of you. All you have to say as a club president or a club officer or any other club officer, or as a guest, Professional Speakers, we need you. And I can say with every bit of conviction that I have, there will not be one professional speaker who will not answer your call. But for now, guests, Professional Speakers, we need you. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Rupinder Singh, for emphasizing the fact that we need you, you need us, and we all need each other to be stronger, to be better, and to make this world a happier place. With that note, I would request each one of you to take quick 1 minute to write feedback for Rupinder's speech, because that's what the decorum of professional speakers invites you to. All of us need to provide Rupinder an evaluation note in the evaluation meeting. So please take some notes, and Anisha as a timer would be helping me to know the timing. Thank you. Okay, moving on from the professional speech segment to the table topic section, where all of us are eagerly waiting to be called for the impromptu speech. I would like to take 1 minute of yours to make your impromptu speeches little better. And how I'm going to help you with that, I hope you remember, and you're still in that awe of that quiz that you just took. You realize you might not know it all. You might want to upgrade yourself, and you might want to improvise upon your speech content. And one such element to help you better with your speech content, and all of us are striving to actually do better in our speech content, and that is through the wordplay. So the wordplay that I was being talking about since the start of the meeting, we are going to explore a few bits of figurative language. Right now, before I call upon the table topic master, I'll just give you a highlight of what is figurative language and why it is important. We all know that. It came from a word called figurative, which means metaphorical. So when you're saying, I'm feeling sad, I'm actually saying it in a literal term. But when I'm trying to say something which is actually away from literal meaning, just to get the message across or put my point forward, I'm making it in terms of my content more highlighted and effective. That is when the figurative language comes into action. All of you mentioned some of the other forms of figurative language like similes, metaphor, personification, alliteration, oxymoron, hyperbole, idioms. All of these are high figurative language. And we all understand, why do we need to use them? I mean, personally, I have been very strong about keeping everything very simple and very straightforward. But I have also realized that in the figurative language, I'm not trying to complicate my language. I'm not trying to show off the fancy and big words, but I'm just trying to make my message as clear as possible and trying to make my presentation or my speech more memorable. So these are the couple of elements that we need to do, like we need to take care why we are trying to incorporate figurative language in our speeches. Two of them which are very commonly used are similes and metaphors. All of you know similes and metaphors, because that is what we have been studying since grade 4. Now it has been started from grade 2 that people get to know about similes and metaphors. For similes, the only clue that I have for you is like or as. Wherever you can compare things, do a comparison using the word like and as, that is where your simile happens. As solid as a rock, swim like a fish, grow like a weed, as wise as an owl. But metaphors are slightly different. Metaphors are also giving you an idea of comparison, which is not literally true, but without using like or as. So when I'm calling that you are my sunshine, I'm comparing you with something larger in life. But I'm not comparing you with the word say like and as. Like Bob is a couch potato. Life is a long roller coaster ride. My grandpa is a teddy bear and he is the apple of my eye. Now, most of the time we get confused with similes and metaphors because yes, at times they are confusing. The only trick to remember is that wherever you see the like or as, it is a simile. And when you are writing your speeches, use the similes where the comparison is pretty evident. But where the comparison, you want to make it as unique and bigger than life, that is where metaphor happens, because you do not compare it with like or as, but you directly compare it with that particular element, saying Noah has a heart of a lion. Now, literally, Noah cannot have a heart of a lion, but you are actually making it magnanimous. And that's what differs simile and metaphor. Try to use simile and metaphor along with the word of the day, respite, in your speeches. And now is the time to call upon our table topic master. So are we all ready for the impromptu speeches? With a thumbs up? I hope people are there in the room. Hello, everyone. Okay, I see 3 thumbs up, which is good enough to make me move ahead. Let me quickly introduce our table topic master of the day. Somebody whom I used to look up as a speaker and a person who was beyond the word humility, today has turned into a dancer. And he has helped me with knowing that nothing is impossible if you put your heart into it. He attempts to be humorous, dancer, reader, writer, speaker, but yet at the core, he is a master procrastinator. A chartered accountant by qualification, an entrepreneur by choice, and a Toastmaster by passion, he always keeps exploring new horizons, just like he gave a solo dance performance last Friday. Although he authored a book which was published by Taxman, he believes he has tons to write before he sleeps. He loves adventures, chess, movies, music, and nature. Synergy and leverage being his favorite word, he gets his inspiration from the quote, start doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. I'm very sure you have got the hint of who our table topic master is. Let's give a huge round of applause to our table topic master, Mukesh, and I request the host to put him on the spotlight and on the virtual stage. Here you go, Mukesh. The birthday boy.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, for having fun with the words and for my wonderful introductions. Now, why should T-Boat has all the fun? Our table topics speaker should also have the fun, and we are going to do that. The simple rule is that you have to come on the stage as I call your name, and you have to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Green card will come at the end of 1 minute, yellow at the end of 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at the end of 2 minutes. There is a grace period of 30 seconds on the upper side. If you want to avoid this table topic session, all you have to do is turn on your video or look into the camera. If you want to turn off your video, hide by yourself, it is possible that I might be chasing for you only. So let's start the table topic section. I have already received first nomination, Dr. Trideep. Trideep, can you unmute yourself? Can you say something?
Am I audible and visible, sir?
Yes, you are audible and you are visible.
Thank you.
So here is your topic.
Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
Yes.
Hi, Anisha this side. Yes. I'm very sorry to interrupt. Since my internet is unstable, may I share my screen to show the timer cards?
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Trideep, your topic is the road to success is always under construction. The road to success is always under construction. Dr. Trideep.
Shall I start now, sir?
Yes.
Timer, please note my time from now. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. From Australopithecus africanus to Pithecanthropus erectus, and then Neanderthals, Cromagnon to Homo sapiens sapiens. You must be wondering what I'm talking about. I'm not an anthropology student, but I'm talking about human evolution. And throughout this evolution journey, if you notice, that is not a one-day affair. The success of road is not a one-day affair. It is every day under constructed. And every day you need to give your 100% to achieve it. 1987, 16th April, A very important day in history, not for you, for me, because that is the day when I was born in this world. And that particular day I was born, and I was the biggest aspirant of a middle class parent. They wanted me to become an engineer. So every day my father always used to come to me, and he used to say to me, you need to work hard, you need to get good marks in mathematics. In class 10 I scored only 27, and all their aspirations deep into the vanish. And then my father said, what you will do now, how you will make your own road, how your road will be constructed now. I joined in humanities, and I joined in a big city college, big buildings coming from a village. I was sitting there, and the teacher entered in the class, and he asked me a question. What is the difference between attitude and altitude? I knew the answer, but before I could translate it into my local language, because I was a local vernacular student, and threw it out from my mouth, the teacher said, Miss Stupid. I came back to my room. I opened my diary. I wrote a line there. I will learn English in 2 years. In 2 years, I have not only learned English. Today, I write in English. I speak in English. The example is in front of you. I'm attempting an impromptu speech. And most importantly, today, when I look back these 33 springs of my life, then I could clearly see that my road was never ready. It is always under constructed. And even today, there is many things that I have kept in my wish list, that these are the things that I'm going to do in the days to come. And to fulfill that, I know that I need to believe in the lines of Robert Frost, that the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So if I have to wake up, if I have to do something in my life, then I need to keep on building my roads. That is what I think. What do you think, my birthday boy table topic master? Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful, wonderful tech. You are an inspiration. I would just like to check with timer. Timer, is everything okay?
The slight disconnection in what I can hear. So I will put it in the chat box, and I would request everyone to note in the chat box.
Sure. So all the speakers, please keep your eye on the chat box. Now the next speaker I would like to have is our distinguished Toastmaster Rajan Bhatia.
Thank you.
So sir, here is your topic. Distinguished Toastmaster Rajan Bhatia, where there is will, there are 500 relatives. Where there is will, there are 500 relatives. Rajan Bhatia.
Amazing topic. Thank you, Mukesh. Where there is a will, there are 500 plus relatives. You know, it reminds me of my college days, or one of our professor used to say, you know, after you graduate from the college, you will forget every law, but do not forget a rich father-in-law. So when there is a will, there is a 500 plus relatives around you. So I would always, you know, on a serious note, I would say that, you know, we hear so many books, we read so many books, we hear so many speeches, but the thought process of the mankind is always to grab more money, to accumulate more money. And I feel that the current times which the entire country and the entire world is going through has taught us a lot of lessons, to be always humble, to always help people. Rather than chasing money, we should actually chase our relationship. We should always try to focus on using, not using the money, but rather than loving people as genuinely, not just because we have some kind of selfishness from there. So it will give us a lot of respite once we actually tend to be little more spiritual, right? And that is what is the learning to the entire country and the entire world. So I feel that you should be surrounded with 500 plus 5,000 relatives, whether with will or without will. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajan sir. Wonderful take. Now I would like to quickly take my next next tabletop speaker, Samriddhi. Samriddhi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, your topic is
As well
very
as
simple.
visible.
Yeah, you are audible, you are visible. Your topic is very simple. Samriddhi Garg, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. If the doctor is cute, to hell with the fruit. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. If the doctor is cute, to hell with the fruit. Samriddhi Garg.
Thanks, Table Topic Master, for giving me this such a humorous topic. So I would just reiterate one. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, but if the apple is cute, do hell with the fruit. So I would just maybe a little off track thing. So I have a sibling, a younger brother who is doctor. So even after eating an apple a day, I cannot be away from the doctor. So I have recovered from COVID, just sharing a small humor incident with all of you. So he was in the same room. He daily meets his friends who are doctors and who even go for COVID duties. But then he's coming, he's sitting in the same room as me, and he's telling me कि तेरे से मुझे खतरा है. I was like, wow, मतलब I am even recovered and still you're saying that the danger is still with you. I was like, you go every day, you meet people, but no, nothing to do with that. So coming over to the topic exactly which sir gave me, an apple a day keeps the doctor. So yeah, I agree with that. So I would consume apple. That an apple a day would keep the doctor away from me. I am really very scared of this medical things and all. It is very difficult, and honestly, even the sight of a hospital gives me a shiver. I cannot bear all that. But yeah, if the doctor is really very cute, which really happened with me at an incident at one of the hospitals in Gurgaon. So it was like, yeah, you can sit with the doctor and nothing to do with the fruit. You can enjoy his company and rather being, so that's all. I would just conclude it. The time is up.
Thank you very much, Samriddhi. It was a good take on the topic. I know it was difficult to speak on a humor topic. And for that, we have someone special next coming up. So thank you very much. And now I have only 1 minute left, and I guess in the best interest of time, I would hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master Mukesh Thakur. That was really amazing. And now, without any ado and without giving you any more gyan on the words, which I'll definitely come back to you later, but right now it's time for prepared speeches, the segment which is a conventional Toastmasters meeting segment where our members will be delivering their project speeches as per their pathways curriculum. And today we have Toastmasters Raj Mehta as the first speaker. So can I request our host to spotlight our speaker one, that is Raj Mehta. So Toastmaster Raj Mehta is a visiting faculty, trainer in soft skills and speaker on entrepreneurship, innovation, and incubation. He's a two-time distinguished Toastmaster. He's a postgraduate in science and MBA in finance. He has got rich work experience of 35 years in management and trainings in private, multinational, and government organizations like UB Group, Becker Group, and Ministry of Power, and as Technology Transfer Officer at Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer, which is an industry interface unit at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. He's fond of listening and watching birds, people, greenery, and music. A progressive learner and experimenter, he strongly believes that perseverance shall take you places. We have personally at Professional Speakers Club seen him learning each a new bit every day and progressing with a lot of vigor and passion. When welcoming our first speaker for the prepared speech segment on the virtual stage, My Love Affairs, Toastmaster Raj Mehta. And I would like to quickly highlight my apology. He's delivering speech 2 of project 2 from level 1 of effective coaching path. All of you are going to be the evaluators, so please have your pen and paper handy, and we'll be providing him evaluation in the evaluation section. Back to you, Raj Mehta. Love affairs, Raj Mehta.
Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you. Love has always been there. Humanity exists because of the presence of love in this world. Love was there even before Adam and Eve, because even plants love each other. Animals and birds also love. Air loves and kisses everything. Air loves fire, fire loves water, and water loves earth. When they come together, they create souls. One such soul is Raj Mehta. You see, I'm the result of so many love affairs. How could I remain loveless in my life? My first love started immediately after my birth. On coming out of my mother's womb, I started crying. This cry was not for entering into this earthly world. Instead, it was for the beautiful midwife, Chanda, who had pulled me so close to herself that I could feel her breathing. After glaring at me for some time, she opened up her heart and declared publicly, "Wow, what a handsome and chocolatey boy." This chocolatey boy remained 5-star till 8th standard of studies in Ramjas school. I remained girl-less as the school had morning shift for girls and afternoon shift for boys. In 9th standard of my studies, one afternoon when I was walking to my school, I saw a girl in a pink shirt and blue skirt with a school bag coming from the opposite side. I looked at her and smiled like Amol Palekar. She looked at me and smiled like Vidya Sinha. We passed by each other a few steps away. I turned my head and looked behind. I saw that she had also turned her head behind and looked towards me. I smiled. She smiled. From that day onwards, we would look at each other, smile, and continue on our path. It went on for about 6 months, during which I dreamt that we had got married and lived happily thereafter with our 4 children. When I got result of my 9th standard, passing with 93 marks, I decided to talk to her on that day. But she didn't come. I did not find her till my 12th standard in that school. My school days love affair with pink uniform ended in a blackout. Years passed. I grew. My mustache grew, and surprisingly, my beard also grew. I put my heart, head, and home aside and concentrated deeply on my graduation in industrial chemistry from Rajdhani College. One day, in an ongoing class, Seema Chugh, the femme fatale of the college, left her seat and came near to me and sat on the same desk on which I was sitting. She wrote on a notebook, "Would you like to help me in industrial chemistry?" Below that, I wrote, "Yes." She smiled like Hema Malini. I responded like Dharmendra. From the moment we became friends, then close friends, and then always tag-along friends. From industrial chemistry, our discussions moved to family, future plans, and habits. After the final exams, she announced that she was going to UK for MBA. I couldn't accompany her for lack of funds. At Delhi airport, Seema and Raj gently kissed each other goodbye. My last love affair happened after the birth of my daughter and my son. Yes, Trust me, it is true. With another famous veteran, Shamli Zara, in 2001. We met on a chartered bus. The journey was from Pitampura to JNU, almost 1 hour. In that 1 hour, she would ask me so many questions about me, my family, my office, my hobbies, the movies I watch, many social and political issues, and so many things. As we had fixed seats in the chartered bus, this became a scene of every day and went on and on and on. We fell in love like Shah Rukh Khan and Zuhi Chawla. We would bunk office, family activities, and would go for watching movies, trade fairs, dance clubs, what not on this earth. We enjoyed our love affair for about 18 years. Everything, and during those 18 years, we did everything. Everything means everything, including, oh my God, someone is coming. Hey, you dirty people, why are you compelling me to tell you the false stories? I love only love my wife. Here she is. Oh my God. Suman, I love you only. I swear I love you only. Please don't hate me, Suman. Please don't hate me. I love you. Please. Toastmaster of the day. Please save me. Please save me. Out of the Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Raj Mehta. I was actually amused and intrigued to know more, but yes, you halted at the right moment, and we'll halt for 1 minute to write feedback for Toastmaster Raj's speech, and we can help him with his with the speech evaluation in the evaluation section. Timer, if you can help me with 1 minute in the chat, that would be helpful. Okay, I think we are done. And thank you, Timer, for highlighting it. Next, we are moving to our next speaker, who's Anisha. Would you be able to switch on your video?
Yes, give me a few seconds.
Yeah, sure. So while we invite our second speaker on the virtual stage, let me quickly share with you. Anisha is known for being the quiet one, yet inquisitive with a lot of questions. Others better brace themselves. She has moved from developing the tech product to developing human capital. Currently, she works with the NGO Barefoot College International as a trainer empowering the rural educators. She has rejoined Toastmasters community after her CC and ALB experience and now aspires to become a strong storyteller and community enabler. You can find her practicing stillness of mind, movement of body, oneness with nature, or just hopping around looking for food, if not busy lucid dreaming in her sleep. Ask her about living in rural spaces after moving around 6 cities, and you would get to hear amazing stories. Anisha, if you allow me, I can help you with the timing this in your speech. I can show the timer cards and probably you can pin me if that works. Like I can show you the timer cards, like the physical meeting.
The general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Aditya Gupta, will be helping me with the timing.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Anisha. So Anisha is delivering her speech 2 of project 2 from level 1 of persuasive influence part. Anisha Gupta, listening to my significant other. Listening to my significant other, Anisha Gupta. I request host to please put her on spotlight.
Just before starting Madam Toastmaster, I want to repeat that Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh will be my specific evaluator, speech evaluator for this.
Okay, thanks Anisha for highlighting Rupinder Singh. You'll be evaluating her speech in the evaluation section. Over to you, Anisha Gupta.
Anisha, you must not travel to Delhi. It's not safe there. Stay where you are. Anisha, you should stop trying being so polite and so kind to your colleagues or even your roommate. They don't deserve it all the time. Anisha, you definitely want that butterscotch ice cream. Don't go for that chocolate one just because everyone else is. These are the conversations I regularly have, not with my friend, not with my parent, but with my significant other. Madam Toastmaster of the Day and other listeners, I have these regular conversations with my significant other, which most of us have. Most of us have some special person in our life, be it your parent, be it that special friend, be it your best friend, or that special someone in your life. But my significant other is none other than myself. The other part of me. This other voice that I have in my head is continuously telling me something that I should be doing, something that I don't want to do, that I hesitate to do, but still it keeps on running in my head. It's like the plot of a movie, like Anisha calling Anisha, wherein I am having these regular conversations with my voice in my head. Let's do a 7-step analysis of how these conversations go on. Like the 7 levels of why, I ask the 7 levels of questions. Do I regularly listen to this voice? Yes. Do I abide to what it is saying to me? No. Do I take the decision it is telling me to do? Definitely not. Do I regret not following its voice and the decision it tells me to take? Oh yes, I do regret. Do I go back to my voice and listen to it and then do that action? Definitely not. This way, I have analyzed that there is a voice that is talking to me all the time, telling me what to do. I'll give you examples of the real voices that I have in my head. Like, take for example, my friend from my college. Anisha, do you know what happened today? Do you know that this happened today with me? Such exciting my day was. Did you know that professor in my class told me this to do this? That's my friend Sumangal. My best friend from college, my roommate, would come running to me every day after the classes and would tell me something exciting or the other from her life. Take another example of another friend who often calls me up. That's that 3 a.m. friend that some of us have. Anisha, I can't do this. I am so messed up and so confused. I don't know what to do. Please tell me, help me around with this. This is my 3 a.m. friend, Rashi. My friends like Sumangal and Rashi, they call up me, they reach me out, they tell me about these intricacies of their life, of something fun that is happening, of something whenever they need a friend, a listening ear, they come and reach out to me. But when I need a listening ear, do I reach out to these people? You would know. No. Whom do I reach out? Well, I reach out to my significant other. And what are the conversations I have with my significant other? Let's take this for an example. Anisha, you need to travel down to Delhi, but you have no medium. Your parents are waiting there. You are here up in the hills, up in Solon, all alone, but you have a family to go there to. You should go there. But Anisha, I don't know what to do. I am stuck over here. Should I go there? Should I not go there? Anisha, you should definitely go there. You should figure out how to go. But I'm so messed up. I don't know. How will I handle the things over here? How will my roommate work out the things? How will I figure out the logistics? But you must go, Anisha. And do I follow the voice of my significant other? But at times I do, like you can see right now. Last week, I took this decision to move away from the place that I was in the safety of a hamlet in Himachal Pradesh, up in the hills, that was away from all the pandemic scare that it is. But I still took that decision. Now, in this case, I listen to the voice of my significant other. But do I do that always? No, blind me, no. If you have met my mother, you would know how she is an epitome of patience, how she always is not giving advices. She's not your friendly neighborhood mother who is always nagging, calling up, asking, did you eat your food? What did you eat today? Did you clean your clothes? Did you make up your bed? No. She is patient and patient listener. Now, I wouldn't say she's not the best advisor, but there was a day when she gave me one advice. 2011, July, that one evening when my parents were dropping me off to college hostel. That day, my mother said, Anisha, suno sabki, par karo khud ki. Anisha, listen to everyone, but do what your heart says. This sentence has remained with me. This has kept me reminding that while I listen to everyone, all these voices around me, I should do what I want to do, what Anisha wants to do. With this, I realized that I should continue doing what I want to do. But that voice in my head keeps telling me something else. On that note, I want to say that I'm still struggling to keep listening to that voice in my head. But that struggle will continue. And one day, I'll be able to say, yes, the plot of Anisha calling Anisha is finally coming to a good end. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Anisha, for that wonderful journey that we had with you, understanding and confronting the significant other part of yours. May I request 1 minute of silence now for all of us to write feedback for Anisha's speech so that we can help her offline, because Rupinder will be helping her in the speech evaluation as a 2 to 3 minute evaluation piece. But all of you, if you want to put it on the chat and send her on a personal note, you can send her evaluation. So quickly note it down in the 1 minute and let me know when you're done. Okay, thank you, Aditya. Now, after these two, or rather, like I should call it, 3 exciting sessions of our professional speakers meeting, I know you have some lingering thoughts of the quiz that you took, right? And there is one question that I would like you to go back to have a quick mention before we call upon our next segment moderator, I would say, or the next speaker, and that is an implied metaphor. I hope you remember that there was a phrase which said he barks commands at the team. It was not a metaphor exactly, but it was an implied metaphor, which actually is a form of metaphor only, but the object of comparison is purely an implied thing rather than directly being referenced to. Now, this is not a specific metaphor, but we generally tend to do these comparisons when we don't want to mention it, but we want to imply something. That is where implied metaphor comes into action. Like you can see from The Pearl by John Steinbeck, where he has mentioned the poison sacs of the town began to manufacture venom, and the town swelled and puffed with the pressure of it. Now, exactly the situation is not something where the venom is manufactured and puffed with pressure, but this is how the situation is being implied. That's how implied metaphor works. Giving you one more tip for making your speeches a little better in terms of content is trying with the alliteration, something that you might already know, but you might not be very comfortable using in your content, is the series of words that begin with the same consonant sound, like blueberry bacon bit, chocolate carrot chip, peppermint pizza pinwheel, strawberry spinach swirl. So you might come across such brands also like Dunkin' Donuts, and the short phrases wherein the first letter you would find as a series of words being made with the same consonant sound. Alliteration as such emphasize and highlight if you want to put significance to one particular element of your sentence or your speech. It actually beautifies your language in a rhetorical sense also. Now, with that note, knowing alliteration, metaphors, similes, and some bit of implied metaphors a bit better, we have somebody who is going to help us make our speeches more humorous. Somebody who is our very own professional speakers member, somebody who is a District 91 humorous speech champion, somebody who we have as a privilege today as a Power Talk speaker, Shipriya Gauri. May I request host to please put her on spotlight while I introduce her to all of you. Welcome, Shipriya. Shipriya is a behavioral consultant who works with Right Management. She has been in the field of people assessment and development for the last 6 years. She's also a Kaplan accreditation practitioner, which is a universally used psychometric tool. Shipriya is rightly supporting our district as a CGD team as well. And right now, we are all eager to hear what Shipriya is going to share with us as mastering a humorous speech. May I request everyone to give her a huge round of applause as she takes the virtual stage, mastering a humorous speech as a Power Talk speaker, Shipriya Gauri.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day. A very good evening to everybody. Good morning if you're sitting in the other side of the country, or good night if you're sitting on the easter side. First and foremost, this is for those people who are actually not champions, because I was never a champion before this season of humorous speech. As a matter of fact, some of you might know that right before this contest season, there was only once I competed in a humorous speech, and my club decided I wasn't good enough and they didn't send me to area. They said, no, we can't let others suffer what you call a humorous speech. But then I decided to experience something outside the district for 2 reasons. Number one, well, nobody knows in that district, right? So if there is a level of embarrassment, I do not have to bring it back home. And number two, because my sister insisted and she said, just go and give it. Like, what's the harm? I was like, fine, all right. And even right before the area contest, and I was wondering, will I make a fool of myself? And guess what? With the first draft of the speech, I might have ended up making a fool of myself in front of a club or in front of a crowd which does not know me at all. So, the first rule of humorous speech is reread your content. Your first draft is never the final draft. A lot of times when you're writing a speech, you know the context, you know the background, you know the story, and it might be very funny in your head, right? But it's not funny for others because they do not know the context. How many of us face those issues? Some of us. That's the first rule. Never ever go out with the public with your first joke because it's funny for you. Let 2 or 3 people who are not at all known to you, let them read. If it is funny, then great. If it is not, then obviously you have to change the speech. Number 2, never ever ever make an intellectual joke because your audience is very, very diverse and they may not really appreciate it. I made one joke on trigonometry and my coach came back and said, "What is this?" I said, "Remember trigonometry." And he said, "There is no such thing as a compulsory trigonometry subject in the United Kingdom." And the joke fell flat. And it's not just about the joke falling flat. Had he seen me in person, even I would have fallen, not flat, but in multiple directions. So please ensure that your jokes are very, 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 very simple to understand because you do not know who the judges are. You do not know the audience. You do not know anything. And that comes to my third most important piece of information. Get help. I was never funny. I'm still not funny. I do not know what works with an audience. I wouldn't even know that what type of an audience I'm dealing with. But if you do not get help, then obviously you're sitting in the dark trying to shoot darts in the dark and hoping for a victory in the dark, and it's not going to help you at all. So my sincere advice is get help. But who do you get help from? That's the big question, right? I can go and ask help from my sister. I can go and ask help from people in District 41 and who are amazing, who are funny, who made me laugh like crazy. But it's not going to help me because they do not know the audience. So take help from somebody who offers you something different than what you can fetch yourself. If I have a mentor from District 41 or District 121, because I have both the districts, none of us know that what will work with the audience, right? So it's very important for us to identify what type of audience you're dealing with. And that's where 3 things worked for me. Point number 1, in the last 2 years, there were no women in the finals, in the district finals. So it really gives a lot of advantage for me to utilize that part that I'm a woman. When I say I'm a woman, that means expressions, that means a squeezy voice, that means a vocal variety will really help me a long way. Point number 2, Britishers generally do not have a habit of self-deprecating humor. Or District 91 does not have that habit. So if I bring self-deprecating humor as one of my key ways to make the speech, then it will help me a long way. So the minute there is self-deprecating humor, at least in the division and the district, when you have a diverse audience, it will at least reach somebody. So try to see that if you're bringing in diversity, what is that one thing which you're bringing in on the table? And what is that one thing you're doing differently? And point number 3, the audience is very, very, very diverse. And in fact, the age factor, the average age in the Western Hemisphere is at least 20 years more than India. So when we work on maybe a love failure or maybe on relationships in India, guess what? There is a very high probability that others also speak on the same language or speak about the same situation. For example, when I talked about my relationship failure 3 years back in India, there were 5 more speakers who talked about it because the average age was such. But in United Kingdom, most of the contenders I competed against were at least 10 or 15 years older than me. That means there's a very good chance that they will talk about perhaps marriage aspect of the relationship, but not really falling in love. So that really needs, you have to keep in mind the age understand what is the probability of the competition speech, understand what really will work with the audience. So a couple of them actually messaged me that it takes me back 20 years. I found it so funny because I felt that as if I was a 20-year-old struggling for love. So that was something which will really help you. Next point. When you're writing a speech, it's very important for you to do three things. First, check it out whether you have enough punches or not. I went and gave the speech in 38 different clubs in different districts. Somewhere it worked well, somewhere it did not work well. But what you get to understand is a trend. You could see that these are the jokes which has a maximum probability of getting a laughter. And these are some of the jokes which probably had not even 10% of reaction. So ensure that you are taking these trend analysis into finalizing your speech. Now, how do you do a trend analysis? Obviously, you'll be busy giving a speech, right? You wouldn't know what was the audience reaction. So nominate one person or one friend who will just check the audience reaction, who will also help you note down where there were chuckles, where there were actual laughters, where there was absolutely zero expressions when you're expecting one. Believe me, my biggest joke of the entire speech was written 2 days before the area contest because someone laughed at it and it just naturally happened. And what really or how this part really helps you is that you also will be able to plan where to give pauses. For example, if a certain joke or a punchline will only fetch you a few chuckle, but it's an important segment, then even a second of a pause is enough. But let's say there is one punchline for me, which was like, as a Toastmaster, I confessed my feelings in a 5 to 7 minute speech, but the guy rejected me in a 2 to 3 minute evaluation. That was a very big punchline, and I got a lot of responses from different clubs. So I gave a 2-second or even a 3-second response or a pause for that punchline. It will help you to plan your speech better. Next point is that once you are ready with the draft, you have gone experimented with everything. Please practice as much as possible. When I say practice, it is not just about talking about your speech, or it's not just about reciting your speech. It is actually choreographing your speech till the last second. As a matter of fact, 2 members from this very own club, Toastmaster Aditya Gupta and Toastmaster Roli, along with my coach, Toastmaster Dan McGill, they were there till 6:10 p.m. practicing the speech with me when I had to log in for my contest at 6:40 and I did not even take a shower. 2 hours, they both were there, and then they logged into PS because they all are loyal to PS. But after that, for 2 hours, it was my coach. It is important for you, especially in a humorous speech, to play with everything you have, whether it's vocal variety, whether it's body movement, whether it's facial expressions, or whether it's using words. So ensure that you rehearse till the microsecond of your speech. Unless and until you do that, you will not be able to create that impact, because in humorous, everything is delivery and everything is a conscious delivery. But when you're delivering, you need to enjoy yourself. If you do not enjoy, then it becomes too difficult. So when you're delivering, it should be that you need to internalize the speech. Even if somebody wakes you up at 3 in the morning, you need to tell that what will be the third line in the 4th paragraph. That is the amount of preparation you need, so that when you're actually delivering, you're not worried about forgetting the speech, but you're actually consciously delivering. At the same time, you're enjoying the speech. And last expert opinion or expert advice I would give it to you. To practice a humorous speech, over a period of time, you will no longer find it funny. Has it ever happened? Because most of your jokes, you have listened to them. And especially when there are turns and twisters and surprise elements, you already know the surprise. So you'll no longer find it funny. So suddenly, when at the end of your, when you're closing or coming near the contest, you suddenly feel a drop of the energy. So what you need to do is very simple. Find that one person who's a very close confidant, but who hasn't listened to your speech. deliver that speech to that person. The person will laugh a lot, okay? And you need to keep the cameras on, you need to keep the videos on. When the person laughs, automatically you'll have a reassurance. And this is something which I did with one of the Toastmaster from Luke West. She's also from Puerto Rico, Toastmaster Alicia Schneider. I told her that you are my jackpot, so please react honestly to my speech. And I gave the speech one day before the district contest, so that I get a reassurance that the speech is funny to anybody who's listening for it for the first time. So that the next day I feel even more confident, I feel even more energetic while I'm actually delivering the speech. So to conclude, take help. Your first draft is never the final draft. Experiment as much as you can so that you can identify your final draft. Your draft will also, and your experimenting will also help you to identify the pauses in your speeches, and also it will help you to time it better. Second, use everything to your delivery, whether it's vocal variety, whether it's stage performance, whether it's facial expressions. Mine worked just because of facial expressions. Use everything to your delivery. Number 3, do a great recall of the audience. Who can be your potential competitors? Who are your potential audiences? Who can be your potential judges? And what are some of the topics which are common, at the same time not so common that there's a fellow contestant who might speak on that. Number 4, practice, practice, practice. But right before you're gonna give the speech at the finale, at the final stage, give the speech to at least one person who is a close confidant but hasn't heard your speech, so that the person can give you a reassurance that it's funny enough, and it's just not funny for you because you have given it 20,000 times. With that, I'm sure that anybody who's not at all funny, even me, can go and get a victory at Humorous Speech Championship. With this, I hand over the stage back to Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Shipriya Gauri. That was really insightful to actually hear and listen to your journey and take these insights from them. I'm definitely inspired, and I'm going to work and try my hands at the humorous speech contest next time. So that's Shipriya Gauri as a part of speaker for us. And now it's almost the time when I actually bid a goodbye, because my role is almost done. And now we are moving to the most critical section of any Toastmasters meeting, for that matter, not just at OPS, not just in the new kind of structure that we follow, but evaluation is something where all of us will get to learn about ourselves as a speaker, as a role player, as a impromptu speaker. And for that, we have our evaluation team. And before I hand over to the evaluation team, I would like you to give a little bit stress on the hyperbole and fun, the examples that we have put in the quiz. I'm very sure we all know hyperbole. Anybody who doesn't know about it? Okay, with that nod that there is at least one person who doesn't know about it, I'll quickly highlight. Hyperbole is basically an exaggeration, or I should say an extravagant, intentional exaggeration. Like Rupinder can say, I have a million things to do today. I'm very sure he would not do a million things, but it's just an exaggeration. I'm so tired that I can sleep for a year. They can also be used as a rhetoric device. The phrases like, we have nothing to fear, but fear itself. The kind of environment that we are in right now. Now, this hyperbole here is actually used as a rhetorical device also. It is basically an exaggeration of how fearful people should be or are. You would come across several such examples where we tend to actually emphasize on the pain, agony, irritation, or disgust that we are going through, but all we want to make it is an exaggerated version of it. And that's what hyperbole is. And with that, I am very sure that with the small bits around the figurative language, you'll be able to play around with the words in your speeches and try to make them more effective, try to make them more impactful and memorable. With that, I would now like the host to spotlight our general evaluator of the meeting, Aditya Gupta. Aditya describes himself as a listener, learner, and speaker. He lives his life on an inside-out philosophy by the law of 33%, which sounds always exciting to me. He spends the first 33% of his time with people who are way ahead of him, and he learns from them. He spends other 33% of his time with peers, family, and friends, and the rest 33% sharing those learnings with others and help them grow. He's on a mission to lead a meaningful life and impact 1 million lives by 2030. With that note, now I sign off as the Toastmaster of the day, and I would like to invite our general evaluator on the virtual stage, Aditya Gupta. The stage is all yours. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Honey. My system just crashed, so I had to log into my mobile phone. I hope I am audible and visible. Please give a thumbs up.
Yes, Aditya, you are visible and audible.
Perfect.
And your mobile is working perfect.
Good to know that. Let's get started with the evaluation segment. First things first, would like to invite the professional speaker of the day on the virtual stage to take his feedback. Please, with a huge round of virtual applause, welcome on the virtual stage, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh.
Thank you very much. So I'm looking for feedback, obviously, and let me start with Rajan Bhatia. Rajan, specifically, I'm looking for how did the speech make you feel?
Right. So, Bhupinder, sorry. Am I supposed to give the speech evaluation to you?
Just one commendation or recommendation that you think were
on your speech, right?
Yes. Then we can move on to the
Right.
other.
So it is always a pleasure, as everyone knows, it's always a pleasure and a privilege to listen to you, which I was lucky enough today, and to hear your motivational speech. And when you spoke about your story in the Toastmasters, it took me actually back to my Toastmasters days when I was the area governor and going through all these speeches and roles. So actually, I think you were able to create a lot of emotions. It was a very motivational and inspirational speech, very high on emotions, and a lot of humor was there, which was a very sprinkling of humor was there, although it was not your signature style, but of course the sprinkling of humor was there all through. The only recommendation might be because of the situation we are in, a little bit of body language would have helped, like Anisha did today. I'm not sure if you give the speeches by only sitting or standing, that is a limitation with all of us, but maybe you could have used little bit of hand gestures, hand movements, facial expressions. That would have been more effective. Otherwise, I feel it was an amazing speech and really motivated everybody to contribute their best, and made us realize that we all need each other. Thank you.
May I ask Aditya, specifically, I called out examples. So do you think that the examples were relevant, or could I have improved them better? Since you were not a part of that team, otherwise. So the team that I had back in my Toastmasters years.
I think the examples were on point. You shared your journey starting 2015. I got to know you somewhere around 2019. And it was refreshing for me to have an understanding of what your Toastmasters journey was like, even with the members of this club. To your specific question, how did it make me feel? I have a lot of notes here. Assuming your speech was for 15 minutes, the first 5 minutes of your speech were more towards an informative tone, where I wanted to maybe get up from my chair, roam around while listening to your speech. The next 10 minutes of your speech, especially the part where you shared how these individuals supported you when you needed them, and how you translated the message that you needed them more than they needed you. That was a point where I wanted to sit back in my chair and just listen to this person, whatever he's speaking. And that removed one of the complaints that I usually have while listening to your speech, that I want to see more natural version of yourself. Towards the second part of speech, I loved it. Your tone was natural, personal, as well as inspirational. One challenge I would like to throw at you is there's a pattern that I've observed in your role playing, starting from your speech, the why me speech till this one. When you're role playing the other person, you use a high pitch voice to depict the other person. I would also like to challenge you to try a low pitch voice.
Okay.
That's the only challenge I'll throw at you. There were slight fumbles at the start, but I think the second part of the speech overpowered them completely.
Okay. My last question is to Mukesh Thakur, who's been an integral part of this journey. Mukesh.
Thank you very much, Rupinder. I can vet all the examples that you have given. I was part of all of the examples, and I have also given one speech based on all those examples that was included. Your many examples as area director and other roles. Overall, entire speech was interesting, and I am really motivated, and I could get your clear message, what you are trying to ask as a call to action. What I can see, and it is only my only opinion, you can think it is good or not. So I can say there are various examples and there are various opportunities where you are asking for audience for a call to action. You need to contribute if Toastmasters calls you, if you need to contribute if the current scenario is asking for you. I just wanted you to put one general common call to action and put the entire focus on your power props examples, particularly focused to that call to action.
Okay.
We just need to provoke the emotions out of the audience. If we can provoke that, if we can trigger that emotion, they are ready to help in every situation. This is just my opinion.
Okay. We have run out of time, so I'll hand it back to the general evaluator. Thank you everyone for your feedback.
Thank you, professional speakers and the audience for sharing feedback. I would now like to invite our speaker number 1 on the virtual stage. Please welcome with a virtual round of applause, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta for taking his evaluation for his speech, My Love Affairs.
Thank you, Aditya Gupta, General Evaluator. I would like to receive the feedback on my speech. Since this was second speech of the project, I would first request Rupinder Singh DTM, because he has already listened the earlier version of the speech, to kindly tell me whether there was improvement in this particular version of the speech.
Raj, I saw a definite improvement, and what I really liked was I knew what the end was. I knew how it was going to end, but it did not seem like you were repeating a speech. It came across that this was a totally new speech that I was listening to. I saw a renewed energy. So all boxes ticked there. Where I would want you to focus on is probably your content, because all 3 stories, they are leaving me hanging. They are not giving me a sense of closeness. So that closing is not happening. That what exactly happened, or what should I take away from the speech, that is missing. Other than that, delightful speech.
Okay, thank you. May I request Mukesh Thakur?
Sir, this was really a great experience. I don't have any recommendation for you. There was lots of humor approach. There were lots of energy, and you were enjoying your entire speech. I think you applied all the suggestions that Shiptiya Gauri was giving a few time ago. I don't have any recommendation. Only one thing: if you can put your camera at your eye level.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. May I request Jolie? Jolie, are you there? May I request District 91 Humorous Speech Champion Shiptiya Gauri? Your feedback on my speech.
Much, Raj sir. I really loved the speech. The best part was you were enjoying. So I can see that it was actually coming out very well. It did not look as if, whether you were nervous or you were thinking. My only request to you, and this will just add to your entire humorous experience, is that stand and deliver the speech so that you can actually come closer and move back and, your enjoyment can actually come out much better. Somewhere I felt that the body language could have reached to a next level.
Okay, by the way, I was standing and giving the speech. I was not sitting.
I couldn't. Okay, so I couldn't see your hands. Actually, I thought like you were sitting with your camera like this. So
Okay.
I actually thought like you were sitting with the camera down. So probably I wasn't able to see the hand gestures very clearly. So maybe if you can stand a little away from the camera, maybe by 3 feet with your hands, then it would be more. It would be much better. I actually it was surprising because I actually thought you were sitting with your camera up. So with your
Okay, I shall definitely work on it. Aditya Gupta.
Raj sir, have already heard this speech before, and unfortunately, all my commendations have already been covered. I just missed one part of the speech which I witnessed earlier. I think you went down to the camera and then you slowly looked back up and did something in your speech. So I was missing that. But other than that, loved the revised version of this speech. Hope I also have so many love affairs.
Thank you. May I request Toastmaster Samriddhi, your feedback on my speech?
So honestly, I don't think I'm the right person to give feedback as such. I mean, I'm very new to the Toastmasters.
Okay. Anything you want to say? What was good? What was not so good?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you.
Thank you. May I request Toastmaster, sorry, Dr. Tridev Upadhyay. Dr. Upadhyay.
It was wonderful. I listened to you carefully, and what I like about your speech is overall the presentations of the content. Maybe a little bit of work on your body language. That is what I was looking for, especially in the beginning of the speech. If you could have grabbed the audience with the first sentence, I think that would have made your speech much better. So all the best. Otherwise, I thoroughly listened to you, and I really enjoyed this speech. Thank you.
Thank you. May I request Toastmaster Anisha, your last evaluation on my speech.
Thank you, Raj sir. I was not actually able to hear the complete speech because of technical difficulties, but I was enjoying the punchlines there were. I knew that it was about some kind of love affair, and you mentioned few actors, I believe. Yes, you mentioned 2 actors. So yeah, I was enjoying it and would have enjoyed it more if I heard it properly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Since I think I have some time, may I request Toastmaster Hani Khandoja.
Yes, Toastmaster Raj Mehta, the sad part of being the last evaluator is that almost all the points are covered. The only the very strong commendation that I have is I have seen your speech after a long time, but one very powerful difference that I had seen was a lot of confidence and enjoyment in the speech. Being present in that moment and going through that journey as a speaker, like reliving all those moments is something that I really saw it. The shine in your eyes, the energy with your voice, that actually was a good example for me. The only recommendation that I have is that in the end, probably when you said that your wife has entered and you were saying that yes, you love your wife, and then you hand it over to the Toastmaster of the day. Probably that is a bit where you need to iron it further and make it very strong. That's the only part, because that's a very powerful close that I found. Probably you can practice it a bit more and make it more clear. So that is something that I would recommend. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hani. With this, I would give the stage to General Evaluator, Aditya Gupta.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta and the audience for sharing your feedback. Now I would like to invite our second speaker on the virtual stage. In fact, not the second speaker, but the evaluator for the second speaker. Please help me welcome with a virtual round of applause, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh for evaluating Toastmaster Anisha Gupta's speech, Listening to the Significant Other. Timer, please time the evaluator for 2 to 3 minutes.
It doesn't matter whether you're single or committed, but when a beautiful girl has a speech title that says, Listening to My Significant Other, you sit up and listen. And that was my first point of interest in the speech. The moment I heard the speech title, in a way, the speaker got my attention even before delivering a single word. There were other things I liked. The way she created the suspense. Till about the first minute, I was wondering, who is the significant other? Is this some guy or some person? And then there was that excellent reveal of the significant other. The enactments, the role plays, they were par excellence. I liked how you enacted the different characters. And what I loved the most was the position of your hands throughout the speech. All the while, your hands were never at this level. So your face was never hidden. They were at the body level. And I wish that I was as thin as you so that I could fit inside a mobile phone screen as well. So those were some really positive points. Let's look at how we can make the speech even better. The first thing that I noticed was you are literally at right angles to the screen when you were speaking. A 45-degree tilt would make that personification better. It will also make it faster. When you're doing questions and answers, you don't have to face each other. You could do question here, answer over here. Question here, answer over here. Also, give the significant other a name. Significant other is too much of a mouthful. And last but not the least, I felt that the speech needed a message. I did not have a takeaway from the speech. So Toastmaster Anisha, let's add a message to the speech. Let's have a name for that significant other. Maybe use the camera better when you're doing questions and answers. Maybe a 45-degree tilt will help you better personify the different characters. But what it does not take away was that today I listened to a speech that had everything, almost everything, the body language, the vocal variety, even the eye contact. Some people will say that your eye contact was not proper. I would say that given the context of your speech, it was excellent. So keep working on improving your body language, maybe naming a few characters, maybe adding a message to your speech. In fact, I have that as a challenge. You have a wonderful speech. Figure out the message that you want to send with that speech. A person should get to know, okay, what is it that I should do once I have listened to the speech? What is the call to action here? Once that happens, it will become an excellent speech. I look forward to listening more from you. This speech actually can be a contest level speech. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. Soon to be our district evaluation champion, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Now it's time for the reports by our tag teams. I would first like to invite our grammarian of the day, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar, on the virtual stage to share his report. Please help me welcome with a virtual round of applause, huge round of applause, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar.
General Evaluator, could you please confirm my screen visible?
Yes, we can. See it.
Yeah, hello everyone. It's a good day at grammarian's office today. The word of the day was respite. It's a noun and it was used once by Hani. Then we have some creative uses of words. First is snobbish, selflessly, intrigue, confronting, agony. Then we have creative sentences as well. Exhausted excuses by Rupinder Singh, building my roads by Rajan, spring humor by Rajan. Then we have there is some incorrect usage. Someone said, here she is. The "is" should be avoided. Here she is would be better. The good thing is we don't have mispronunciation today. So congratulations to each one for that. That is from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar. Now I would like to invite the R counter of our day, Toastmaster Jolly, on the virtual stage to share the R counter report.
Yeah, thank you, General Evaluator. Just let me know once you are able to see my screen.
We can see your screen.
Great. So today most of the speakers had done a fabulous job in not using the crutch words. So kudos to Rupinder, Mukesh, Raj, Anisha, and Aditya. And especially Raj and Mukesh and Anisha, they had not almost used zero crutch words. Rupinder had used some filler words, which I believe like it should not be the case, or seriously, which could have been avoided. And the rest of the speakers, Hani, Sandeep, Pradeep, and Shivpriya, they are also have they also have been doing a good job. Hani was using a short pause once and a filler word probably, and Shivpriya also had been using filler words like because, also, so, that, and the topic speaker Rajan and Samriddhi, they were basically using a lot of filler words. So probably if they can use some short pause instead of using any filler word, that would work wonders for them. And in my speech also right now, I have been using few crutch words. I have noticed that. Those 4 crutch words. Thank you. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jolly, for that report. It's now time to call upon our timer of the day to share her report. May I please invite Toastmaster Anisha Gupta on the virtual stage to share the timer report with us. We can see your screen, Toastmaster Anisha.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. We have been doing okay on the time, not the best, but we also had a lot of segments, and we have been having a very fun time at the through the segments given by the Toastmaster, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, but not the best on the timing side. Otherwise, I have seen that most of the segments and most of the introductions especially have been very precise and very under time. Be it Sergeant at Arms or Toastmasters, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, introducing the role players, or the General Evaluator of the Day introducing the role players, as there were overtiming in segments where speaker number 2, that is me, took 8 minutes 18 seconds. Speech number 1 was 6 minutes 5 seconds, well under time. All table topics were well under time. Toastmaster table topic speaker Dr. Tridev was just on the brink of with 2 minutes 24 seconds, and evaluations have been about between 5 to 6.5 minutes. So these can be reconciled. With that, on that note, I hand over the stage back to General Evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that detailed report, Toastmaster Anisha Gupta. And like our timer already mentioned, we are not so good on the time. So without wasting any more of the precious time, I'd like to start with my General Evaluator role. My first General Evaluator role, in fact. Believe it or not, this is my first GE role in Professional Speakers. As a member, I hope I do justice to the role. Please give a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Had a good meeting overall from the starting till the current point. Good energy, good engagement from the audience, lots of personal stories from all the 4 speakers, the professional speaker, speaker 1, speaker 2, and the part of speaker. Starting with the opening address, we went live at 3:59 p.m., 1 minute before our official time. Kudos to our Sergeant at Arms for that. Recited the mission statement well. He also managed to add personalized remarks based on the current times to make our audience feel comfortable, and also presented our president with his surprise birthday wish, which continued later on in the course of the meeting as well. It's raining wishes for our president. The acknowledgement of guests, our president did a good job by calling out all the names with the help of the audience's applause. In the business segment, the members were quick and crisp in sharing their short-term goals and the progress. Slight scope of improvement there. We can hide the slide of the absent members. Moving on to the Toastmaster of the Day segment, Toastmaster Honey. Thank you so much for taking us through an interesting quiz segment and helping us know our current knowledge of figures of speech and enlightening us with what the figures of speeches are in the due course of the meeting. Just like our Sergeant at Arms, even our Toastmaster of the Day did the birthday wish song for our president. Like I said, it's raining wishes for our president here. Slight scope of improvement. Instead of saying, I am not allowed to do this and going there, maybe find out a way to merge the theme and your intention of wishing our president together so that it looks like it's a part of your plan. Very engaging quiz for the audience. There was a slight time constraint. I would have loved to see what more you had in store for us. One recommendation based on the exceeding time limits. These can be improved with brevity. Brevity in simple words is saying more by using less words, a skill which even I'm trying to practice. Another scope of improvement in the presentation. Instead of having long sentences, try keeping bullet points or just images. I, as an audience, was confused. Should I read the sentences or should I listen to the speaker at the same time? And on a personal note, the professional speech conference that we met at, surprisingly, by accident, even all the professional speakers from around the globe which came there, they also had presentations, but only had one-liners or bullet points or just images, and they were explaining that. So maybe recollect those memories and learn from those professional speakers. Other than that, introducing the structure of the meeting, you nailed it. Introducing the role players, that couldn't have been better. During the professional speech segment, our professional speaker of the day shared a personal experience of playing different roles during his Toastmaster journey with an impactful message. Like I shared in his evaluation, it went slight informative during the first half, but second half, the energy, natural flow, and the message completely overpowered the first half. Loved every aspect of it. The reason why I have given 1 is because I have very high expectations from this speaker, and I know that he's capable of even delivering a better speech than this. Moving on to our first speech, distinguished Toastmaster Raj did a phenomenal job. Loved the energy, especially how the graph took off. The energy graph literally took off the charts during the last part of the speech, where you did the body language enactment and save me Toastmaster of the Day, save me Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you for sharing your journey of love affairs with the audience. Moving to the second speech, Toastmaster Anisha with her speech, Listening to My Significant Other. She took us on a journey of conversations with her significant other, and she managed well despite the technical challenges she was facing, not just during her speech, during her timer's role as well. Kudos to Toastmaster Anisha for that. To the table topic section, table topic master did what he did best, gave his personal touch, humorous personal touch to everything that he does, encouraged everyone to participate, shared the guidelines at the start, and gave interesting tweaks to the table topic. Moving to table topic, speaker 1, Dr. Tridev, the road to success is always under construction. That table topic was full of energy. Only one recommendation: can skip the initial message to the timer, not the TTM, where he mentioned timer, please start timing me from now. Table topic, speaker 2, distinguished Toastmaster Rajan, where there is a will, there are 500 relatives. He grabbed the audience's attention with the humor at start, took an interesting turn by relating it to the current pandemic and sharing a beautiful message with us. Job well done, no recommendations. Table topic speaker 3, Toastmaster Samriddhi, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but if the apple is cute, to hell with the fruit. Clearly, the speaker enjoyed her topic. She digressed a little from the topic during the speech, but that's not a problem. And also one recommendation, do not forget to translate into English when you speak certain words in the Hindi language in a Toastmasters forum. Next to the power talk, our one of the ex-members, also the humorous champion of one of the districts, shared her story of the first draft of humorous speech and how she managed to make it to the district winning speech. Loved how she shared her personal examples, how we can use her lessons in our daily speeches or even the contest speeches. Just one recommendation, timing can be worked on. That's the only reason I've given a 1 here and not a 0. Moving to the evaluation part. The evaluation for professional speaker of the day was well done. The recommendations, I would suggest the evaluations can be made a little more short and crispier to make time for more members to share their feedback so that we can provide the speaker with even more value. Also, the speaker can share in advance the specific areas the speaker is looking for, even before his speech and not during the evaluation, so that the audience knows what to look for when they're listening to the speech. Evaluation for the first speaker was short, crisp, sweet, to the point, covered majority of the members. Job well done. Evaluation by the second speaker was to the point, by distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, was to the point, shared commendations and recommendations well. One slight recommendation, the speaker looked in a little hurry when he saw the red card, and the conclusion could have been a little more appropriate. Now it's time to evaluate the report for our tag team players. No complaints there. The team did a pretty good job from the timer to the hour counter to the grammarian. Just one recommendation to their roles. You might want to end your report with a suggestion on how to improve the shortcomings. For example, how to remove the filler words or reduce the filler words, how to make sure you be on time, how to remind yourself of using word of the day. So far, this was my evaluation of the meeting so far. I can see a hidden smile in the timer's face because I am not yet on the red card. I would like to keep that smile on by inviting our president on the stage, who is also our birthday boy for the day, with very warm and hearty birthday wishes. Would like to invite our president, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, on the virtual stage. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, general evaluator, all the role players, all the evaluators, all the speakers. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of the role players and the speakers for the meeting? Now, before we go for the closing, you know what I am going to ask, and this time this is a bit tricky because the quote that I was sharing was a bit long. TM Rupinder, this is a challenge for you. So, do you
the only
remember?
way we can live is if we grow. The only way we can grow is if we change. The only way we can change if we learn. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You still that much is very good. Thank you very much. Now it's time to hear from our guests, and I can see there are 6 guests available to us, starting with our Power Talk speaker. Shivya, can you turn your video on?
She just wrote in the chat, she is away from keyboard.
She's away. Oh, okay. So can we move to Samriddhi? You are mute, Samriddhi.
I thoroughly enjoyed the meeting. I mean, no recommendations, nothing.
No recommendation. What you felt good, what you felt bad?
So today, I had heard Rupinder sir's speech very much for the first time, wherein he was trying to connect more of the personal things. I mean, I've attended his meetings. I mean, I have listened to him even. So, but I think I especially enjoyed. And then I thoroughly enjoyed the humorous table topic. Thank you for that. That's it.
Thank you, Samriddhi. Dr. Trideep.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a wonderful meeting. I enjoyed. I always listen to Rupinder Singh, Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Fate, I am loving it was the last one which I listened. And this time also it was a wonderful speech. There is many things to learn from you, sir. And thank you so much. Our TTM as well as the presiding officer Mukesh sir, wishing you a very happy birthday. I am also one of the evaluator in your WhatsApp group. I always listen to your speeches, 100-day, 100 speeches. And I have been listening to this. This is really, really wonderful. The speaker, Raj sir, it was wonderful to hear about your love affair. And the humorous speaker was also awesome. I'm all the way from Nepal. I started my Toastmaster journey from Germany. Then I was in India with Toastmasters Guwahati. Then right now I am in Toastmaster Dharan. I believe that near far, wherever we are always connected with the magic of words that we found in Toastmasters. And it was a wonderful learning session for me being with professional Toastmasters class. I will definitely love to join the meetings in the days to come. Stay safe and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Trideep. It was really great feedback for all of us. Thank you. Now our part of speaker, are you free now? So your feedback, how does it feel to come back home after long? After leaving home and getting some trophy and then coming back home.
This is really, really nice. It's really nice to see.
Your voice is feeble. We are.
Oh, am I not audible? Am I not audible? Okay.
Now you are audible.
Now it's okay.
Hi, everybody. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Great. So just want to say it feels awesome coming back. I mean, especially because Aditya, Rupinder, these people have been like pretty much like family. You should know from the way we fight. And Raj sir and Mukesh sir have always been there since my journey in Toastmasters. So it's kind of amazing being here. And I do miss Rudy and Devina a lot. I wish I could see them here. And thank you so much for inviting me to be a Power Talk speaker. This is the first time in PS despite being a member, but it's really, really cool. So to answer your question, it feels awesome.
Thanks for your power talk, and it's just a small token of appreciation. Just come on the virtual stage and accept our token of appreciation.
Oh, this is so cute. This is so cool. Thank you.
I'll send it over mail. Thank you.
Wow. Professional speakers is very professional.
Thank you very much. So, members, do you have anything to say before we conclude the meeting? Anyone would like to say quick remarks before we jump into our networking session, and we say bye-bye to our online members who are watching us live in millions?
Yeah, I want to say happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for this wonderful meeting. I had my best birthday. It was Sunday, and it was coincidentally happened with our professional speakers meeting. So thank you very much for making this meeting wonderful, especially for me. We'll meet once again. And there is one announcement that we are going to have an election for executive committee on 30th of May. So as distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder says, we need you. With this, let's move to our next meeting with more preparation, more enthusiasm, and more energy, because our next meeting starts now.
Yesterday.
Thank you. I am